Hello, sorry about those small technical difficulties. We have been showing you on board with James Turner. John was commentating, but unfortunately there was a lack of sound. But we are here now. John, would you like to just maybe walk us through someone else's lap as James Turner finishes his first Q1 lap bit? Not an all-right lap, but he did have that lock-up going into the hairpin at turn 4, I believe, and he crosses the line and does a...
Will be fastest, 122. Well, it's the benchmark. We have no idea if that's fast, if that's slow. First time being here with the new track changes, as I just mentioned, which you didn't hear. But Dudinazu bops him, but they seem to be quite close. Within a quarter of a second. Okay, Turner did a moderately competitive lap time with that lockup. Maybe if he cleans that up, he can challenge for pole. As one lap is deleted, or did someone just leave? Turner was 4th, he's moved up. That was a bit awkward.
That is a little bit, but we are on board with the Season 4 Drivers' Championship winner, Phil Lanky, looking just as quick in these updated 2022 cars as he did in 21.
Track. Is that a track cut there, I'd say?
I mean, I am quite familiar with track cuts, and I'd say that was on the limit somewhat.
on the limit. There's an LEG on the limit, so that could be taken quite liberally.
Yeah.
So is he about to start his lap? Oh, there you go. 1.1 seconds. So no Sven. Reigning series champion isn't here.
And he goes just a 10th off of Nicholas Shepard's time. That's a pretty competitive time. I think we'll see these two definitely towards the sharp end of the grid.
Is Nicholas Shepard by any chance in an Alpine?
I believe he is. He is paired up with Tim van Rijswijk, a man who has competed in the Super Formula league that we have going on. But
also commentated F1.
He's
commentated the series. He's now driving. Unbelievable. Normally it's the other way around. They drive then commentate. Or, like me, just really bad, so you commentate. But he's found himself in the Alpine. But Phil Lanky again this season happens to just quietly be behind an Alpine again, even though he moved teams, changed scenery.
Still behind the Alpine, not been blocked.
And he's still behind the Alpine, which is a bit awkward. Maybe getting in the way of the Red Bull there. It's kind of awkward through there, but all is well, it seems. It changes scenery for a lot of guys, as I was mentioning. Ali Bigiani partnering with Dudinazu in the Mercedes. He's moved from Williams, as Williams is now effectively defunct. His previous teammate, Chester Chompers, has now moved to partner up with Jaden Evolution in the Haas. Jaden Evolution, one of the few people that has stayed along with Dudinazu. Completely new lineup for Ferrari with Oliver Founds and James Turner replacing Chris O'Connor and Matt. I can't remember his last name. I'm so sorry, Matt, if you're watching.
Matthew Gautier, we've just had word.
Okay, there we go. Chris O'Connor has jumped ship to the Red Bull to partner with Dudinazu's previous teammate, Danny Hernandez. So two guys have split off from Mercedes, which they were the fan favourite, I guess, for quite a long time. Many followers and many fans. But I wonder what would happen to the Dudinazu group. They mainly follow Joe Singers, but maybe some will stay with the Mercedes. Or maybe jump ship, sorry. Never mind, it's Dudinazu that stayed in the Mercedes. Some will jump ship, maybe to Danny Hernandez, but I guess we'll see. As Tim, going to set a lap, I believe.
I'm not sure if he's on a hot lap or not, but I presume that he will at least be starting one, or he is finishing one. I'm not entirely sure, but let's see what he does here. Up to the line. Is it going to be him start? No, he's going to be... Oh yeah, he goes 2.1 off pole of Nicholas Shepard. And as John was talking about, Joe Singers went 4/10 off pole as well, with James Turner also setting a very competitive time. It's going to be quite interesting to see how these people stack up to the absolute sharpest end of the grid here. For sure.
Yeah, James Turner, I think, is definitely taken a step forward, as well as Joe Singers, and Danny Hernandez seems to have made that step with his previous teammate, as they're all quite close. You know, normally it was always Sven who was always a bit far ahead, but I think at the pointy end, we could have something on our hands here, but who's got what left in the pocket? Like Ali, you've been at the pointy end of fields before. Do you leave a bit on the table in Q1 intentionally? Do you go out on a harder tyre? What's the kind of game plan?
I mean, you certainly do. I mean, especially in Q3, I always manage to get a couple tenths out of the car. I don't exactly know how. As Chester Chomper sets a very fast time.
Marginally, as Shepard then blows it out of the water.
It by 6 tenths. This is they're fast improving here, that's for sure.
Did Sven get a legal name change to Nicholas Shepard by any chance? Or he's doing an impersonation. We need to do an identity check, I think, here. This is
I think we need to start
it's a bit common.
IDs, to be honest. I'm not so sure
maybe, you know what? Maybe it was the car.
I think it was.
I don't think Sven's as good as what everyone thinks he is. I think it was the car, quite clearly. It was the 14 as well, I believe, so it could quite well be the car. Tim's doing a Johnny Herbert to Michael Schumacher kind of teammate, being 2.7 seconds off. No offence, Tim. Come on, mate. Let's hurry it along. Jaden Evolution, come on, you Australian. I heard he's got engine issues. That's why he's, he's going to get quicker.
Today, I mean, it would be fairly characteristic of the Haas to have some engine issues, as Phil Lanky.
Or any Ferrari.
Any Ferrari for that matter, really. Do we have an Alpha? I don't think we have Alpha.
Oh, that's a shame. They've got the best goddamn livery of the year at the moment. It's on a bit of an ugly bodied car, but I'd say it's top, 3 liveries, I reckon.
It certainly does look good. Well, Phil Lanky, 120.5. That is rather a quick time there.
And from what I was hearing, a 120 seems to be the borderline, what's good and what's not. So if we see a 119, I think that's when we're going to be pushing the envelope a bit. But that's just from Chester, from what I've heard, not to kind of spoil what he's hiding in the bag a little bit. But as Zen does a 120.1, pulls that out straight out of the bag. No bankers for him. His teammate looks a bit like Danny Ricciardo, being 2.1 seconds down. Oh, that hurts as an Australian anyway.
Yeah, I mean...
He did well in Australia too.
Yeah, I mean... Other times...
Come on, mate, give it to me.
As we see...
speaking of not so fine, Danny Rick or Carlos Sainz impersonation, I should say.
But it's round here, it's good with the Carlos Sainz. But...
If it's around anywhere with kitty litter on the side, it's Carlos Sainz, let's be honest here. As he leaves a smoke trail.
That is maybe tactical.
Quite furiously trying to get out.
Try and confuse
that looked like all-wheel drive to me, with how much tyre smoke that was.
As we maybe jump on board with the man who has gone from Ferrari back to his team in Red Bull. Let's see what Chris O'Connor can do here.
I can't remember. That is not on board. That is looking at him. Not on board. Just
I can get an onboard shot here from the Halo.
Oh, here we go. Look at that. Oh, new to the Red Bull. Oh, that's very Red Bull-esque. I wonder how good is Chris O'Connor going to fit into the Red Bull team.
Well, if his performances aren't very good this season, he might be dropped. As we know, the Red Bull Academy is quite brutal. But,
they've only got one driver in their junior lineup. They've fired so many of their junior drivers, they've only got Ismail left. Joe Singers goes up and improves to P5, but it's looking fairly close in some certain areas. But last 3 minutes, so we're going to see some people have to pull their finger out, as we'll say here in Australia, as Chris O'Connor uses all the exit and then some, as Ali would say.
Yeah.
Comes across the line.
Still set by Zen. I'm going to butcher his name. Zen Meta H. I'm not entirely sure I say his name.
Let's go with Zen.
Let's just go with Zen. Yeah, I like using first names. I'm on a more formal basis with the drivers. But it seems like
it's quite hard.
Have kind of got there's a bit of a gap to Chris's time there, but
a little bit, and then it maybe doubles. But, 4 drivers at the pointy end. So Zen was quick, but I feel like it was only at some tracks and maybe got a bit unlucky at others. So Zen being up there isn't too big of a surprise to me. Nicholas Shepard Haven't seen him driving much, so for him to be up there, I've seen him post the Monaco lap, and that looked unreal. It was in VR, so maybe the perspective seemed to have skewed it more in his favour, but quite clearly he's proven me wrong here, as I say that statement, with being just 2/10 off provisional pole. Whereas Phil Lanke, vice champion of last year, seems to be unfortunately going into where he left off, and that is just off the top guys, which is very annoying for him, I'm sure, but maybe in Q3 he's got maybe a second in the bag and he'll prove me wrong and make me look like an utter clown.
I mean, he is certainly a very quick driver from what we know, maybe just not quite as up to speed with the 22 car as the 21. He certainly was one of the absolute fastest people in Season 4. But let's see if he can start challenging for that top 7 podium like he did last year with Zen. I'm just going to call him that. Push the name. Try it anymore.
Well, yeah, he actually has gone to, or he is first currently, so, but just off the door of the 119, so I think they are pushing the envelope as I was thinking, with the 119 being one of the very good, that's kind of your target time, at least if you're getting into Q3 and want to be at the pointy end, so see how competitive these guys are. Go Ricardo. Oh boy, we need to change that to Go Jade and Evolution.
Well, I mean, it's looking very good for Zen, but it's not looking as good for his teammate, who is currently 2.2 seconds off pole right now. I'm not sure if he's on the lap, but I think we should stand by with Phil Lanke, see if he can beat Zen, as a bit of an exit has just been closed, so no one can
Well, he wouldn't make it round either, being 50 seconds away from it.
So track limits, you can track quite a bit of time.
You can make Australia quite tight. Go around the lake. Take the lake way. Go around that footpath.
You can make it feel like Monza if you really try.
Oh boy. Daytona. Maybe with a triangle. That's some LEG track limits.
That was, I'm not sure if he's got tracking validation, but it does seem like he is safely through, unless some of the bottom 5 can really pull something out there as he gets a little bit screwed on the grass. Going through into this last sector, using all of the track, just locking the inside front.
Oh, lock up.
Oof. Good minimum speed. Bit of understeer out, using all the curb. It's going to be up to the line. What's he going to do? And he goes fastest by 3/10.
Well, provisional pole, I should say. And he does a 119.8, first one into the 119s. Pretty good from him then, I guess, but mostly just bragging rights, as I think the top 4 is relatively safe, as we see the last guys now coming across the line. If anyone is on the lap, or is that it for everyone? Oh, there's been a big off for Iggy, as he was pushing very hard, and he's been actually bopped out of Q, or won't go to top 10 shootout here, as he's only missed out by 0.02 seconds there.
That is a shame for him, because that... We know he's a quick driver from last season, but clearly just couldn't get a lap together to get into the top 10. But,
well, he did improve, I believe, on his previous lap, because he was 2.2 off, and he improved to 1.9, so maybe that was him wringing its neck, but whether that lap was clean or not, we won't know. Let's see if he can improve on the race. Got to look forward now.
And we will see you next session for the top 10 shoot out.
I know when it's happening, but I only know it when it's happening. So that's,
we are back for Q2 on board with the man we started with actually in Q1 here, James Turner. Very eager to get out for this session.
You know what he told me?
What did he tell you?
And he told me a similar story.
5,
last
4,
season
3,
that he
2,
had broken
1,
his toe.
0. Pit lane open.
Allegedly, he's now done that again. He got a bit Australian, a bit intoxicated, and he went to the beach and he kicked a rock. So allegedly he's fighting with a broken toe at the moment, but I don't know if he's just telling fibbies to make himself just look good like a certain Lewis Hamilton with his broken back. So that way if he finishes 30 seconds behind his teammate, he can still get driver of the day.
Absolutely. So the eliminations
Bloody brilliant.
from Q1 were, unfortunately for you, John, Jaden in the house with a 127.
Oh, he's just giving him a bit. He's just giving him, he doesn't want to win. Yeah, look, new car, just done you, Rick,
Then we have Tim Van Rice with the Alpine F1 team with the 123.5. Ollie Fowles, James Turner's teammate, who was at 122.6, and Igor I'm just going to say Igor. I'm not very good with names. For McLaren, and he set a 121.862 and missed out on Q2 by only 20 milliseconds. James Turner is going to be starting his first lap now. I'm getting a bit of deja vu from Q1. What about you, John?
I get deja vu quite a lot, especially with the AFR League. I remember first race commentating in Silverstone, there was a moment where I got PTSD from a Mercedes and a Red Bull going side by side through a certain corner. Oh my god, and he spun, and I think he's kept it off the wall, and he's done a 360. Formula Drift, sign James Turner up, mate. Look at that.
He's
still drifting, apparently.
That was quite something. That took me by surprise a little bit. A little taken aback. I think we should go on board with someone who was on that lap, who was a Chester Chomper, the man who said he didn't get any screen time, but is now getting his limelight.
15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
15 minutes of fame. Here he is. There you go, mate. Let's cut away from him now.
Now we're going to go to Danny Hernandez, who is also on a lap.
Well, everyone's just gone out, I believe, at the moment.
Yeah, they have. Danny Hernandez may be on a hot lap, maybe not. Not entirely sure, but I presume he is because he has set a time. He is being a little bit blocked here by, I believe that is the Aston Martin of Phil Lanky in front of him. Phil Lanky pulls out the way quite nicely. Good for Daniel as he goes through this very, very tight left-to-right chicane here. Lots of members.
They're quite harsh with track limits through here. As I mentioned that, he's gone and railed that inside curb.
I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be allowed by the stewards. Might have to look into that. But yeah, it looks like he's going to carry him with the lap. So, looking all right.
I think Chester Chompers is going to be the first one to have a go here, as we will say. Well, actually, Ismail's actually beat me to the punchline, and he's done a 120.7. So a 119.8 was set last session, so that's going to be the target to beat for the guys at the pointy end of the grid, whereas everyone else will be looking to improve from their Q1 performance. It seems we're only going to have 4 guys really compete, as Zen goes with a 120.4. I'm sure he'll be looking to improve off of that. Oh, to somebody's side. Are they racing? No, you go first. No, you go first. That was a bit awkward.
Slipstream isn't particularly powerful around here, but it looks like they're vying for something. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see.
It seems that way indeed, as they're right together. I'm trying to space ourselves out. I think the next one for a lap is going to be either Zen or James Turner. I think it's going to be Zen.
Alright, let's go on board with Zen.
I believe. Don't quote me. Oh boy. Yes, it is Zen.
It is
Zen. And Zen was purple to the first sector last lap by, so I think he's going... Oh no, This might be an out lap. I'll wait for the sector time to go through, and then I'll mention if I made a mistake or not. As he comes round, I have made a mistake. Indeed.
It's alright. So we can go on board with Joe
any-
Singers, who I'm sure did just set a lap. So that is a subpar.
P4?
For us.
That's
But
alright,
P4,
though.
nonetheless.
P4 though. It's a position improvement. One of the people looking for a position improvement, and I'm sure looking to beat his ex-teammate Danny Hernandez, who's jumped ship to Red Bull.
Yeah, he was a teammate with Corsa. I'm not sure if he is on a lap, and that is a brilliant camera angle. Thank you, Assetto Corsa. I believe he is just going to start a lap now. It doesn't look like he's particularly on it, but as he rounds the final corner, looking to open up and use as much of that curb as possible. Starts his lap.
Let's Phil Lanky rounds around. I think Nicholas Shepherd's just started a lap, I believe.
Oh, and
yes.
as he goes a little bit wide and keeps going, I'm not sure if that's still track limits, but we will stay on board with him as we watched him start the lap. As he goes wide into the hairpin there, going into the car park section, looks a little bit unsettled over those curbs, that car. I'm not entirely sure what he's done on the setup. But as he goes through the very changed quick right hander into this completely flat out section, not for the safety car, as it turns out. We have a new safety car.
Yeah. No more GT3 race cars. Needed some cost saving measures, I believe.
AFR has
wrecking
gone
too many of them.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, absolute tears. As that was very clean through there, actually, and I think he stayed within track limits, unlike a few of the other guys we've looked at.
That was rather quick, wasn't it?
And Danny Hernandez is down, though, on both of his times that he's previously set, though. At least he's red to Sector 1 and Sector 2. So not setting the world alight by any means.
Then pits. Okay. He was moving around quite interestingly.
Oh, Zen actually purple to Sector 1 and purple to Sector 2 here as he rounds the final corner. What's he going to do? A 119 is going to be competitive. Does he get there? Yes, he does. 119.5. That's a very good lap, and he's purple in all three sectors, so that's going to be a mile marker for the likes of Shepherd, Phil Lanky, and Chester Chompers, who we believe are going to be the four chasing that lap time. See if anyone else can maybe throw their hat in the ring on that one.
As we will ride on board with Chester Chomper for his lap. And what was that? That was some...
Has he gone and he's cut across the pit lane? That's a bit awkward there from the American driver, and he's kissed the... What's he doing then?
Tyre smoke there. In the track, which he swerved to avoid.
So I don't know whether there was an incident or something ahead, possible, but...
should go on board with Phil Lanky, the man who is more...
He's actually on a good lap, only 0.3 off of Zen's time actually now, at least for the first and second sector. So see what his last sector's like. It's going to take a big effort to beat the likes of Zen. But he has gone second. Just 0.2, but he did gain... Oh, he's marginal in the last, by 0.01 in the last sector, but second sector he was down by a 10th, and the first sector down by another 10.5. So, a little bit to gain there, but it's awkward though, because it's not he made a mistake here or made a mistake there, it's all round down everywhere, so that's quite awkward. There's a bit of a harsh reality for him to kind of wake up to. I guess maybe trim a little bit of fuel, that's all he can do, and maybe put his foot on the loud pedal a bit harder, as Sven would say.
Try and sit down in his cockpit a little bit more, a little bit more aerodynamic.
Get his head down.
Imagine the cycling. Anyway.
Chris O'Connor, P5? Nah, being popped down. Oh yeah, up to P5. Oh, live timing is telling me Fibbies, I think. Oh yes, it is. I'm sorry, I've gotten Chester Chomper's name and Chris O'Connor's name. I'm still getting used to this. We've had a long break. Leave me alone. I'm not David Croft, I swear. He's getting old and lost.
As that was some very interesting trackings from Nicholas Shepherd there. Not sure if that's going to be a balance, but it does seem like he's pushing on. It does. In this last sector.
We'll see what his lap times are. It's looking okay. Looking P3 though. He doesn't look like he'll improve on the likes of Zen and Phil Lanky there, but he gets a bit of a moment there, I think. Just looked a bit like the car rotated a bit too much there as he races to the line, head down, as Ali said, and he does go P3.
So that is quite an impressive lap from all of the top three. And
Oh, Ismail? Ismail's on a bit of a heater, I must say.
Is he?
I think he's only 4/10 off of pole time at the moment. Ismail, what have you done this season? Provisionally P4 seems to be a big run to big step, I should say, to get to the top 3. But if he can throw his hat in the ring there, and he kind of does, still 8/10 off, lost a lot of time in the last sector there, unfortunately.
But it is looking like the top 3 are almost a league of their own here, to be honest.
Winchester Jumper was there, but he hasn't stepped up at all this session, so maybe he is actually... Yeah, I think he's going to start a lap, actually, so if we could stay on board with him and see what he can manage around here. Through Sector 1, Turn 1, Turn 2 there, looks fairly stable, up into 8th gear. Pick your braking zone, hard through here, never want to get on the outside there, it's not a lot of grip. Don't have to go all the way to the left there, as you can now switch direction through the parking lot. Careful on the curb, especially these new ground effect cars. These cars hate the curbs, as he uses all the exit and then some, as Ali G would say, and he's back down.
That's going to hurt.
Chris O'Connor goes P5 again, improves, but not enough, at least not to his liking, I would imagine, as there is a massive gap between the top 4, or really the top 3 and everybody else.
As Ali goes
Gianni, yeah. You're getting there, Ali, you're getting there. This was more, I was just as bad. 2.1, yeah, 2. That's a long time. So these front guys seem to have really found a lot of time, whereas everyone at the back is, well, Chester especially, really finding it hard to put a lap together for him, as we just seen previously. So I think he's going on an out lap this time. He's racing to get back to the line, and he's only going to have one more go at this, and he's probably the only other guy that can challenge those top 4 or top 3 guys. But he needs to do a heater, because he took liberal track limits on his warm-up.
I think I'll allow that, because it is on an out lap, but as he comes through this last sector, just trying to keep the tyres as cool as possible. A lot of load going through them, especially in the high-speed turns, so just trying to cool down, get the brakes in the right temperature, and especially get a good launch off this last corner. We will run a
Phil Lanky's actually improving right now. Yeah, as he coming into the last few corners. See what he can manage. He's up, not up on Zen, but he is closer than what he has been, as Chester now flies through Turn 1 and Turn 2. Seems to be pretty stable through there. No wiggly things. And he seems to be pretty good through here, I reckon. Using all the curb and then some on the inside here last lap, and does so again. This is where he messed up, went a bit too wide, and he keeps it all within track limits. So he's on now. Come on, mate. Let's see what you can do. Throw it in. Kiss a curb. You don't really want to kiss the wall, I was going to say. I watched Monaco 2 weeks ago. I've been still caught up in that. Coming down through the... Oh, yes. Don't ruin your gearbox. Come on, the Ferrari mechanics won't check it. Comes down through the fast left-right chicane. All the curb there. Very nice, actually. I think that's just about as much track as you want to take. Car seems very nice as well, as you mentioned. As he comes down into the heavy braking zone, tightened up this year for better overtaking opportunities. Slows the cars a bit more down, so probably have to drop an extra gear or go a bit lower in second. Now through the tight and twisty last few corners, a bit wide there on the second to last corner as he rounds the final corner. Can he get a good exit? All important exit. And as he comes to the line, he is up, and he's up quite well, and he has gone up to P6. Still not competitive. Very close though between P6 and P8 is all I can really give him.
Yeah, that is
but not finding the lap time.
No, he's he looked so quick last season and was really running with some of the front guys here, but it seems like he can't quite match the pace of those front runners. But we will see what will happen in the race. Can I just say, I do love the person who decided that all the team names should be flipped in the pits. I do commend him.
Oh God, don't remind me. I need to have a stern word with them. That is something despicable. As Zen is out on a lap, I think Danny Hernandez also is, or maybe he's starting a lap. Nah, Danny Hernandez, he's not going to improve as he's going to come across the line. Nicholas Shepard, I believe, is lining up or finishing up his lap. Mr. Nicholas Shepard, where are you on my live timing screen? Down too much in the first sector, I think. Zen, though, he's purple to the second sector, just slightly off his first sector time. Phil Lanky behind, and he's well off. He's 3.5 tenths off in the first sector and another tenth in the second sector, so I don't think Phil Lanky's going to be able to improve here, but Zen might set an absolute hater, as we say here down in the land of Oz, as he goes off. Commentator's curse. He was on for a pretty good lap. I don't think anyone else is going to be able to challenge him. I think he'll be thanking his lucky stars that Phil Lanky wasn't on too good of a lap either, as he's actually might balk him here. No, Jack jumps out of the way. That's all good.
Oh, he goes back to the pits after getting a bit too wide there.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a what's the word? Scared by a ghost kind of thing. Just got him a bit
put off by Zen's presence.
Yeah. As Ismail goes P3.
That is a very impressive.
Oh no. Wait, no, he's about. Oh no, I've jinxed him. I looked at his time, but he is P3 still.
No,
I didn't notice that he had jumped.
Left the server. So
qualifying over, race will start in around 2
He's
minutes.
4 tenths off. I'm pretty sure he's legitimately P3.
Oh yeah, he must be legitimately
4 tenths off Zen.
Okay, so he.
Or maybe P4 because of Phil Lanky. I don't know. Yeah, I believe Phil Lanky's ahead, but Nicholas Shepard got very close, and Ismail. I'm really impressed by Ismail. I think he's the biggest improvement here.
Yeah, I agree, but we will be back to you with the race as soon as the next session comes in. See you then. Hello, we are back and on our way for the 10-minute practice session before the race. We will actually be having a whistle-stop tour of the new track changes by our safety car driver and commentator John McDonald. Would you like to take us through it, John?
Yeah, mate, coming out of pits here. This is weird, driving a safety car. Never done this before and commentated. So normally we do this in a non-F1 session. But as you can see, there's someone coming up behind me now. This is an F1 session. So this is like in Fuji where they do those bus tours. Please don't kill me. As Ali Bibiani leaves me a nice wide berth there. But first track change up here, a little bit wider here at the apex. As I run a little bit wide, but keep it on track, just look good. It's got tyres. Oh yeah, that's it. Using all the track.
Maximising track.
It's a bit scary through here. It drives a bit like a supercar actually, which I've driven quite a lot as I nearly do a light stroll to him. Watch out for the next guy coming, all but founds. This is really scary in a road car trying to check up with all these guys as I just passed another track change there really quick through that corner now. They've really opened that up just to allow cars to get a bit closer. And here, no more right-left chicane, and God, it was awful. This is flat in an F1 car, but not flat in a safety car, as I have to just kind of blip the throttle as I come through here. Then the really fast, well, if you're in an F1 car, really fast left-right chicane. For me, it's third gear and a hell of a lot of understeer. Using all the track exit there. It's a bit awkward, as I'm going to get caught by an F1 car in a really awkward position here. Going to leave him the space on the outside, then jump in behind him, slipstream. I got the DRS. Going to make an overtake? No, not quite.
He's almost done a Fernando.
Don't go in the kiddie litter. Almost.
He's
No seals braking. I'm going to block this guy really badly. I'm going to stay left, give him a hell of a space. Hello, Ismail. P3. Well done in qualifying for him. Then into second gear. By the way, that corner back there that I struggled to pull it up with Fernando Alonso went off. That's actually changed as well now. That's nice and tight now. So, and a bit wider, I believe, as well, just to open up the overtaking opportunities that down into there with the heavier braking zone. So, a few track changes, a lot faster this year. As to go under the Go Ricardo sign, it should actually say Go Jaden Evolution, as he's our resident Australian in the series, even though I'm the commentating Australian, but I'm not racing. I could be, if we get all the laps under safety car. I could win. Well, compared to a few people that have driven it, yeah, I've managed to not put it off. Been pretty damn close, though, as I'm going to block this F1 car, see if he can deal with me. Just park it really awkwardly. He leaves me all the space in the world, Mr. Danny Hernandez. Goes right into the parking lot to park his F1 car as I'm going through the grass. Thankfully, this GTR has all-wheel drive. Bloody brilliant. But again, this is one of the big track changes. Through here, kiss the wall. Not the wall, the curb. Don't kiss the wall there. You will die with that curbing. Really awkward. Pivoting the throttle here, especially with the F1 car coming up behind you. That is not fun. As I think I'll bring it in. I'm a bit too scared, and there's a change of pants needed, I think, Ali, as I'll hand off the warm-up session to you.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Track guide, John. As Zen, I'm going to go for it. Zen Metanich. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. That is as good as it's going to get, really. He is setting some, pretty fast race pace there. That is only about 4 seconds off the pole then. Or maybe actually did more than 4 seconds, but even so, still going to be quite good race pace. There's Dylan Hernandez is also doing a couple of race runs in this 10-minute practice session before we get going. It is certainly looking interesting. So just to remind you of the starting formation, we have. I'm going to go for it again. Zen Metanich. I think I've smashed that. In
I think you've done. Yeah. Legend in your own lunchbox. Rate yourself.
I'll take it.
No, I think that was good. That's better than what I've done.
Then we have Phil Lank for Aston Martin, and then Nicholas Shepherd behind them in third, and then Ismail for AlphaTauri, the one and only AlphaTauri driver. Some say that he is big enough to fill 2 seats. We'll certainly see that in the race. They're saying a 1:20.3, so only 0.8 off of pole there. And Chris O'Connor only a 10th behind in P5 for Red Bull Racing. Chester Chomper in the Assetto team. It's also only a 10th behind that, so it really did close up towards the end of Q3 there. Joe Singers for Mercedes-AMG Petronas, James Turner for Ferrari, Ali Bajani for Merck, and then Danny Hernandez for Red Bull. They are followed in quick succession by Igor for McLaren, Ollie Oliver Founds in the other Ferrari, Tim in the Alpine F1 team, who is teamed up with Nicholas Shepherd, and John's favourite, Jaden Evolution, who's racing for Haas.
A people's champion, I think. He's honestly championship contender. Don't mind his qualifying position, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to absolutely smash it out the park. I'm not biased. Sky News.
no bias in the slightest here from our resident Australian commentator, as we are just watching the F1 cars go around the track for a bit. It's nice to see them on the limit, especially through some of these parts. It really does require a lot of precision to send it through. It's very nice.
Especially when some fat Australian is taking up the space in a fat GTR. That is probably not what they were expecting to see, but
I mean, personally, I would have gone for Porsche safety car. That GTR is more safe.
I believe that there's a reason why I'm actually in the GTR, Ali. Would you believe that a vice champion of one of the series last year said it was too hard to drive? How odd's that? Were you vice champion in a certain series? I
think I was runner-up. I think that was the technical word that was used.
Oh, runner-up.
I'm honestly not sure who that was, and I don't think we'll ever know because I control the street. Anyway,
I've been muted. I'm sliding towards the circular saw. Okay, he didn't say it. Turn it off.
But yeah, as we rumble, Tim kind of rise, but hoping to make up some positions in the race here after a little bit of a disappointing qualifying compared to.
Is it his debut in F1?
It is his debut in F1.
As a driver, not as a. He's been in F1 as a commentator. First time as a driver, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Don't get angry on Twitter. Oh boy. As someone's had a big off there, that's. Look, I hate Carlos Sainz, alright, but god damn.
So we've actually checked who that is. I think that might have been James Turner, because yes, he is back in the pits. I would assume so. But his team at OnlyFans is just doing another.
Keeping it on the black stuff. Stuff. With tarmac. Unlike the kitty litter.
So yet there is always still time. We have 40 seconds left of this 10-minute practice session.
He could have an absolutely massive accident and won't have the gearbox checked, and he'll DNF as a result.
I think that will happen.
Not to jinx anyone. Alright.
No. Commentator's curse isn't really a thing, as we found out.
What's that? I've never heard of it. We definitely haven't done that to 3 people already either. Just talking rubbish, I am. Don't listen to me. As he nearly has a moment there with taking all the exit curb, and the exit curb nearly taking him. As he locks up, takes the sausage curb there. That's pretty tight. That's a uncommon line, I think. Yeah, he's not using any exit, just kept it really tight on entry, battered the sausage curb. But yeah, that's my most hated corner. I'll say as an Australian, it's the worst corner on the track.
These cars, of course, very different to their 2021 counterparts. A lot more reliant on that ground effect, so they will have to be slammed to the ground for drivers to get the most they can out of it, of course.
Well, actually, it's quite difficult with that because, with this being a high-speed track, you don't want the car to be porpoising through the high-speed corners, so you need to have the car high enough for those high-speed corners. So really, the speed that you get out of turn, out of the fast left-right chicane, then you can kind of have the car then beginning to grind and maybe stall out your underfloor. But yeah, it's always a balancing act, so see who deals with it the best in the race. But it seems that we have 3 or 4 clear favourites already, but a few people that we know as already competent people and championship contenders, and a few newcomers that have thrown themselves into the fray, like Ismail, who's done a brilliant job. I think it was a fill-in last year on a few occasions, but now that was a really good lap from him, just 4/10 off the likes of Phil Anke and Zan, who were quite competitive at the back end of last season as the Ferrari nearly
made with the pit lane.
Oh boy.
No speeding penalties on this race, which is a bit uncharacteristic because the pit lane is a little bit weird, shall we say.
Yeah, there's a marshal for some reason sitting at the very front of it that says you must do 80, and then for some reason there's one that says you can do an unlimited speed limit again for about the last 10 metres, then the proper pit lane again, so it's very awkward.
It is a tad awkward, it is. But we will shortly be getting underway with the race start here. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Who will Carlos Sainz and who will who won that?
You know, Tim did flick me a message saying not to bag him out, but I think Tim might go off first. Maybe. I think Ismail, I'm going to call it. Ismail takes the win, right?
Okay.
I think Zendo's going to be very competitive. I'm going out on a bit of it's a bit of a gamble, but, high odds. 100 to 1, I reckon.
I'm going to go for Phil Lanky. I've seen him in action as I was a F1 driver for a very, very brief period in season 4. But I'm going to take that experience. I'm going to say that Phil Lanky is going to take the win. He has won championships before, and I believe he does have the pace to especially get to Zen.
Well, you can't forget, obviously, the pole sitter, Zen, who's very, very competent. I think he's also very consistent as well. So is Phil Lanky. Maybe he's having a bit of a rough time adapting to the new car. They finally get on the grid as I'm going to adjust myself. Director?
That was an interesting thing to say on stream, anyway.
If you could adjust yourself with a certain thing at the back of the grid that's quite obvious. The car, Ali.
Yeah, I have gone back to pits. I'm not.
Who is that then?
I
Someone's gone and done it.
Is,
there we go.
Our resident race director, Nicodem.
And Michael
Massey.
Massey.
Shout out to him today. He will
Brilliant.
be making all the decisions. So if you do have any complaints, just send them straight his way. Don't even go to us. Anyway.
I think he'll file them to HR though, which would then be preceded by a sound of a shredder. Anyway.
So,
home race for me, for Jaden. This is brilliant. I can't wait. About to kick off the season of what is it? Season 7 now of AFR Formula 1. Also, we just had Season 7 of Super Formula kickoff just last week. So not like last year, we're going to be doing a race every 2 weeks for each series on alternating weeks. So next week will be Super Formula week, after that'll be F1, so on and so forth, for a 10-race calendar for both series. So here we are. We didn't really have a close championship last year, did we? But it looks a lot closer this year, at least, with the top 4. If they show up to every race, they could be really competitive and put on quite a good show for us, as we just over a minute out from going lights out here.
There's the timing screen's having a little bit of a fun time, but I do think everything is in order from what I can tell. Just over a minute, or just over 45 seconds until the lights sequence, and then we will get underway. So, yeah.
They keep blinking, and it's confusing me. Or is that just a sign? I don't know. I'm getting old. I need glasses.
That might be a sign. I'm not entirely sure. I am loving all of the camera angles here, though. Can really choose between what I want here, but I think we will.
This is brilliant.
I think we will have a look at the front.
Chris O'Connor P5.
Light sequence in 15 seconds. 15 seconds.
Chris O'Connor he's always been a genius on strategy, unlike Ferrari, which he was in last year. He was almost like a Sebastian Vettel, really, with that car. And he's always going out there on
Light
a bold
sequence
strategy.
starting. Good luck.
Tries to be aggressive. I think we got most people here, though, on the medium tyres.
We do.
A few people have elected the softs. As light sequence is now on 3, 4, 5, 6 lights here.
And it is
lights out and away we go here. The McLaren, I think it's a good start. Is Phil Lanky there on the inside getting a better start? No, I don't think he is. He's not going to get there. Look at the Alpine, I believe it is, from behind, and he's stood right round outside of Phil Lanky. The Red Bull gets run out of space there, and he's lost a lot of ground. He might be coming under pressure now from Chester Chompers behind.
Okay, well, virtual safety car is not working.
Virtual safety car now deployed. Virtual safety car is not working. There's an error. Oh no, this is tears.
Kind of a virtual safety car. Except I presume we'll just be ignoring that, as it is not working at the moment. But it is. Zen
a 3-second time penalty for Tim, as Tim's used DRS, I think, on lap 1. Deployed his DRS. Could that be a malfunctioning system, I wonder? What's Tim gone and done that for? He's up into P13. Oliver Fownes, I think, is dropping like a rock. Chris O'Connor up into P4. Oh, he spun!
The quick
just
right
through the new fast right-hander, as you mentioned there, and that's going to be tears for him, as Zen loses position to Nicholas Shepherd now, as Shepherd takes the lead, with Phil Lanky just behind us. They're side by side now, going through this corner, through the turn 13, I think. Phil Lanky, where has he gone? Finding himself now, slotting into place, and these guys are very close, and big loser out of that's obviously going to be Oliver Founds and Ismail.
Safety car deployed, safety car deployed, safety car deployed.
So, safety car has been deployed. John, it's your time to shine.
Oh boy, here we go. I'm going to pick them up just as they... oh boy.
As we do have some very, very nice new safety car lights for this season. They're all detailed in the rulebook. But new safety car lights.
Yeah.
Looks rather nice in my opinion.
New safety car driver. Hello, lads. This is an awkward feeling. Has anyone ever commentated while driving before in this league during a race? Many a times. Thank you, Mr. Race Control Director. Well, here we are. This is bloody brilliant. It's a bit awkward with it not being a GD3, so, you know, going to try and deal with the grip. Feels like a supercar. Feel a little bit at home here.
And just all drivers ignore the 0 second for speeding penalties, so obviously that's not a penalty.
So see who pits here. That will be quite interesting. It's going to be a long way to the end, being 29 laps. See if the hards can do it here. It's a street circuit, so tyre wear generally seems to be a bit earlier. Well, they could have pitted for damage, so whether they've gone...
yes.
Maybe they've been forced into that, like Oliver Founds, as he pits, as he gets a 0 second time penalty for speeding.
That is a not very significant time penalty, as we have explained for this this race. The pit lane is a little bit balked, but we'll move on. So it does seem like Chester Chomper, Ismail, and Oliver Founds, obviously, having spun off at that fast right-hander, have all pitted.
I'd just like to state that I'm leading a Formula 1 race.
Even if you are a lap down, you are technically leading a Formula 1 race. You certainly are.
Stop the count. Stop the count. I've won. I have won. Oh, yes.
The big winner from this is Nicholas Shepherd, who has made up 2 places on the start using those soft compound tyres. He's really made that work for him on the launch.
Yeah, so interesting to see how the tyre wear goes for him, and he isn't opting to choose the pit lane. He's going to want to run away here after this safety car, which I think will help him, actually. Yeah. Give him that elongated kind of tyre wear. Or tyre life, sorry, not
safety
tyre
car
wear.
in this lap, safety car in this lap.
Tyre wear, as I'm going to be coming in this lap, ladies and gentlemen. So my time to shine is now over. As I'm pretty scared from these F1 cars.
John Moore doesn't announce it, but it has been announced for him this time.
Oh, that's brilliant.
There's safety car coming in. Lights do need to be deployed. There you go.
This is really awkward, actually, as I have to... It's really interesting. It really gives you a lot of respect, actually, for all these F1 cars, how they're able to take all these corners at such rapid speeds. I have to slow down so much, and I'm sure they might be shaking their fists at me like a certain Ayrton Senna did, waving his hands about when a certain Peugeot was a safety car. So this is a bit quicker than a Peugeot, but certainly slower than the previous safety car that we had before.
Not by much, though. It is rather understeery, but then again, I have my own personal quarrels with the safety car. I'll keep that to myself. But you are leading an F1 race, John, and I'll be very interested to see what Nicholas Shepherd can do on the restart here with these soft tyres. Has he got them up to temperature? We will find
He should be able to... He'll actually be the best one to get it up to temperature. Being on the softer tyres, they tend to heat up a lot quicker. So, you know, he's going to be looking to sprint away after I leave him here. So whether he can do that and make his strategy work, I assume he's going to have to go to the hard tyres. There's no way he's going to make a set of mediums last whenever he does choose the pit.
As he is starting to leave a gap to the safety car here. It is in his
control. I'm going to give you the commentating duties for the first lap or so with this, as I got to bring this big old girl down the pit lane.
As Nicholas Shepherd is leaving it to the very last moment here. And he's slazzing on. He has now gone. It seems like he got a decent launch off that, but Zen Metanich is in his slipstream. Will he have a go into T1 here? No, he has a look, but he thinks better of it. Oh, and Nicholas Shepherd goes off and spins in T1. That is an absolute travesty.
Car off in turn 1, or Jarvis Beale.
Oh, he's gone back to pit. He is retired from the
Oh
race.
no, has he
That is
retired?
absolute
That's
heartbreak. For
that's
Nicholas
tears.
Shepherd there.
Ali, please turn off the safety car incident on the stream, please.
That's absolute tears.
Absolute. That's heartbreak for Nicholas Shepherd. They're leading a race on the soft compound tyre. Thought he would have got a good launch of that, but just outbroke himself into turn 1, which now leaves Zen Metanich to inherit the lead. We'll go on board with him now. Got a decent gap.
He's got Chris O'Connor behind him now, actually, and he's been a
Chris come
massive
from?
gainer from P5 to P2. Phil Lanky, he's fallen back. Where's he gone? James Turner's found himself up as I think someone else. Oh no, that's just updated for Nicholas Shepherd. Oh, got a heart attack.
As we an action-packed first couple of laps here. As we'll go on board with Danny Hernandez, who is punts the Haas off.
Rear-ending the Haas
Of
as we go on board
Jaden
with him.
Evolution, I believe.
And he's parked
Is
it
that
down the
there? He
escape
punts the
road.
Haas
Jaden
off of
Evolution.
Jaden Evolution here. That is a real shame, John.
So I think that the Red Bull's letting him take the place. He's just accepting that fault for that. Has he gone off? Has he gone to pits? I think he's gone to pits.
I believe he has left. Yes, Danny Hernandez has left.
So he has DNF'd.
He has DNF.
Jaden Evolution going to
Is
be
he now
coming
in
into the
pits?
pit lane.
Having to repair that damage that was caused by Danny Hernandez, and Tim Van Rijswijk has followed him in behind. That is interesting.
So Tim could be
strategy.
going. He's on the soft, so he's going to have to go to the hards now. So he's decided that they're 2-1, and he's going to be going to the end. Yeah, well, they really didn't last too long though. Those soft tyres, unless he's got other damage from an incident. But no idea. As Phil Lanky is just 3/10 off the back, 2/10 off the back now of Mr. Chris O'Connor as they come into the fast left-right-hander. Can't make a move here. Single file, buddy. All aboard the Chris O'Connor train, and he's got a bad exit, so he's not going to be able to get a run, I don't think, into this corner. But he does have the DRS wide open. Not going to be enough. He's going to have to slot in behind.
We certainly know that I feel like he has the pace, and he had the pace of the front runners, and especially with Nicholas Shepherd now out on that soft compound tyre, he can really open up the car, get past Chris, and have a go at Zen. Not sure what pace he does have because we haven't seen it, but he is certainly hunting down Chris.
Well, yeah, Zen's put his lap time in, and he's shown his cards with a 22.8 for race pace, which is better than some guys' qualifying time. So he has really he's really kicked on here. As I think another big mover is Zen's teammate, actually, for both the McLarens, and it's the furthest up teammate of one of the front four, sitting there in 5th place. And he's done really well, I think, from P11. Just missed out the last qualifying session, but he does have Dudunazu, Mr. Famous Dudunazu, behind him, giving him a bit of a hard time. So see what happens if Dudunazu can get any closer, as he's 3/10 behind. So if he can get a good run out of this fast left-right chicane, he could be all over and under that rear wing. He might go here. He puts a nose in. He does go up the inside, but they've gotten a horrible run that's going to cost them heaps of time as they come down into this tight right-hander, as I'm trying to gather my words up, and he has gone down the inside.
Oh, they're side by
Where's him? No, they're side by side still.
Still side by side.
This is going to be awkward. I think it's going to be the Mercedes who's going to be able to edge him out. No, but now the McLaren gets the inside, and the McLaren does have the inside, and he's ahead in the braking zone, and he does clear him, I think, and that should be job done. But here comes the Haas into the fray, as he's going to get a great run out of here, I think. Chester Chompers, he's loving the look of this, and he's got the DRS, so does the Mercedes, as they might go 3 wide into this corner. I think Chester's gotten an awful run as he clears him into the corner. Can he pull it up for the corner? Yes, he does. But here comes the Haas again of Chester Chompers. Did he get a good run or not? But he's going to have slipstream. Danny Hernandez, Joe Singer, with the DRS, double DRS here. Only one detection zone, so he manages to pull just out ahead of the McLaren. But he's going to have to hold off with the massive slipstream now. Well, actually, the McLaren's going to have to worry about that Haas in the rear wing. In the rear mirror, as he goes a little bit wide there, as I mentioned that. As Phil Lanky actually just going for a move on Chris O'Connor, possibly. Side by side, he has passed him. I think Chris might have just lifted out of that. just because thinks a bit better of it and doesn't want to replicate that McLaren and Mercedes going through there. That was very scary. I thought that was going to be an incident for sure, as both kind of fully committed to it, then both backed out at the last second, and it was just really awkward. As Phil Lanke, quite clearly passed him, and can he catch Zen? So that's going to be his target now, whether he can kick on.
Hernandez, as far as I'm aware, you left the server. That is you, DNF. Please return to pits. Black flag, black flag.
Hernandez did leave the server, as we saw after he did have that collision earlier on with Jaden Evolution. So not really sure what he's doing back in the race, but
no, there's a real good pizza shop here. As the Red Bull hits the wall as I start blabbering on, oh my god. And he seems to be okay, but I don't think his ego's going to be too okay after that. That's surely going to be damage. As Danny Hernandez does now bow out of this motorcar race as they are side by side. The McLaren and the Mercedes getting very close, but here's the Ferrari now in the background, and he cleanly passes Mr. Iggy, and he's wide. Is he going slowly? He's going very slowly.
What is the problem with
He might have had to slow down from going wide there, and he might have had to make sure he was okay with race control, that he was slowed down to not get a track cut. But that's cost him a lot of time, and he's lost out, to the Mercedes, to the Ferrari, and to Ismail in the AlphaTauri. That's cost him buckets of time.
He is going awfully slow, though. He might have front wing damage. Oh, no, he's got suspension damage. You can see it in the wheel.
Oh, God, that's massive. That's scary. So, do you reckon he went side by side with the Mercedes and they bang wheels and that's put him like that? Or could he have had an incident earlier on, maybe on his own, and hit the wall or something down in turn 1? As Chris O'Connor into the pit lane now. He is the first one of the takers to pit for medium tyres. As I think it was the right time for him, because James Turner actually was really pulling on him. So I think Chris might have damage or something, or maybe just not as quick as the likes of James Turner and Phil Lanke, but he's always very aggressive on the strategy. So maybe he getting ahead of everybody here, jumping onto the hard tyres. So going to be difficult to the end, but he's, he always kind of does this kind of thing, pits a bit earlier than everybody else for the hard tyres. So he's quite used to having to nurse the tyres, kind of his day job really. Nursing these tyres as he comes out in P9, so he won't go any further down than that as Iggy comes into the pits, and you can repair suspension damage now, so Iggy should be able to get back out there, but at what cost, as he is going to have lost a lot of time. It's just a jumper down the inside. I think in clears him. Up into P4, Chester now, so he was there in Q1, then fell off for the final qualifying session and just couldn't find a lap, but he seems to have found some pace in the race here, going up into P4, obviously all lower pit stop to Chris O'Connor, but still quite impressive that he's managed to find his way up here. And both Mercedes boys as well now, 5th and 6th, they've done quite well for themselves after bailing out Iggy the McLaren. But Zen, 3-second lead. I think Phil Lanke's actually wound him in a little bit, but I don't think it's enough. He's only wound him down by about 8/10 or so. So he's still got a long way to go to chip away that gap, and then passing is obviously a thing of its own. With these new cars, it is going to be a bit easier for him, but it is Australia, historically bad for overtaking. But new track layout seems to have made it a bit better, at least in real life, as the Mercedes now all over the back end of this Haas, and thought about a move. Oh, Jaden, we need to go to Jaden. We're going to Jaden. We're just back the front.
Using a bit of a
go on, Tim. Come on, mate.
This is the fight of the ages.
Go, Jaden. This is for the last point, all right? This is so important. America versus Australia. The Australians in the American car.
And
it's same thing.
In a French car.
And the French Canada. Yeah, so it's Canada versus Australia in a French car. French Canadian. That's the word. French Canadian versus the American Australian, Netherlands, Dutch
thing.
Lives in Deutschland, I think.
Fair enough.
As Tim locks up, and he seems to. I'd noticed the gap was about 2 seconds. Seemed to have pulled it in, but now he's dropped off a bit. So I think Jaden might not have the pace, but he has the consistency.
certainly does.
Well, versus Tim, maybe not versus the rest of the field, let's be honest.
No,
But, you know,
that's-
Tim seems to be the quicker of the drivers, but the consistency seems to be a
let's
bit
not
off,
count him
as
out.
he's pulled out quite a gap now, 1.5 seconds. So that's a bit of a shame there.
Pretty nice driving from these two so far. I don't know why Tim pit. Oh, whoa! What was that? Is that Tim van Rijswijk? Oh, he's upside down. That's an error.
We're down! Oh my god!
He's back to pits. No, Tim.
Wait.
In the points.
Jaden
position.
Evolution, he's in the points. Tim's not anymore.
He's
It's
not in the
Jaden.
points.
Jaden's in the
That
points.
was- that
Champion.
was an-
See, Jaden's a champion. I said he's a champion. But oh my god, that was almighty. He
Aeroplane
made
crash
Carlos
outside.
Sainz look like a kid in a sandbox with that incident. Oh my god. Upside down, on his head. Thank god for the halo.
It has.
But he'd have to get
It's tragic.
the plastic bucket out, I think.
And just,
Tim's not
knocked that
dead,
one
we've
off.
heard from the medical centre. So,
In pit, he's still having.
that was massive.
That was huge.
How did he... So he could have gone off and maybe the sand has, or the gravel has
Dampened
grabbed that
it.
left side of his car and thrown him up and over.
Honestly, I don't know, but it looked huge.
He's just
Oh,
upside
okay.
down, sitting there. I couldn't believe that.
Maybe he's
Jaden
having
Evolution probably had a front row seat to it, but we were sitting on the exterior again, which happens to perfectly be facing away from where the incident happened.
Yeah.
It's a bit unfortunate.
Not
but
very good camera
you
up
know.
on me, but it's my first time. Please go.
It's Monaco TV direction, clearly.
No,
Is
it's
that where
better
you
than
work,
Monaco.
Ali?
It's better than Monaco.
Yeah,
actually.
no,
I've seen
no,
a
it
lot of
is.
battles.
Joe Singers, actually, as we're talking about battles, Joe Singers has passed Chester Chompers there.
And all he found is now
As
pressurising
Singers...
his team.
Pressurising? Pressurising. That's not his teammate, that's the Mercedes.
Yeah, Joe Singers.
He's got a red... Oliver Founds, the Ferrari.
Yeah,
Teammates with the
Founds is
Mercedes.
pressurising his teammate. Out of the arm. Joe Singers his teammate.
Oh, I thought he meant his own teammate.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
here we go. He's applying the blowtorch quite clearly, and he's got a massive run on the way in as we try and jump back into it and pretend we didn't have a really awkward conversation.
Does quite well
Pretty
not
good for the
flip
Mercedes
over.
boys, I think, right now. Oh, God. Positive
Isn't it Ferrari?
notes. The Mercedes are doing quite well. The Haas's, both in the points. The Ferraris are actually doing quite well as well, actually sandwiching the Mercedes with a Haas in the centre of them. So it's a bit of a weird sandwich we've got going on. No, not Chester Singers as pit, Dudunazu. He decides to jump in for the hard tyres, as Oliver Founds. Maybe he pitted early for the hards. I think he has.
I believe
So
he
he's
after
going
that
to the end
speed.
of the race here, and he's within a pit stop range, I think. Maybe just off of Zen in the pit stop range, as I think Oliver Founds gets a bit squirrely going down there, as the Mercedes is off, and it's Ali Bigiani, and he said, C of E, come on by. He's done a bit of a David Coulthard there. As soon as any pressure was applied, he's kind of gone and tipped it off.
Subpar, though, but, hey, he kept the car running. He is he's only lost 5 seconds in that. I think he's recovered that pretty well, but that will be a bit of a knock to his confidence. So we'll see what he does.
Yeah, bruised ego, I think, is all that'll be out of that. And a 50-cent coin sitting on the front left of that Mercedes after that big lockup. Big surprise for me is probably Ismail being so quick in quali and being a bit nowhere in the race. I hope he would have pit. That would put him in
He
a good
has
position, but I don't think he has. Okay, he's actually in a
Onto
good
the hard
position.
compound of tyre. He is pretty close to Chris. Okay, that was an interesting line he took through there.
This is brilliant.
That was being the king of track limits here. I think that was a little bit too far. But anyway,
Ismail has allegedly not pit, so maybe he started on the hards, but he should get the benefit going into the back end of this race. As Chester Chompers now pits, so where's he going to come out? Probably behind Chris O'Connor, I'd imagine, probably even behind Joe Singers, maybe. Actually, Singers was who he was battling, so. But Singers did bin it off the. No, it was Bigiani that bin it off the road. So if we look at Chester Chompers, what is that going to look like with Joe Singers as he gets released? There's Joe Singers.
Joe Singers
Just
is
behind him
in
in the...
front.
No, he's in front. Yep, he's lost
By a
out
good
to
2
Joe
minutes.
Singers there. So, unfortunate there for Chester, but he has a lap or so fresher tyres, so as long as he gets those up to temperature pretty quickly, he'll be on the charge to try and chase down that Mercedes for a few extra points here, as Chris O'Connor probably the one to look at. as the one who was pitted, and Oliver Founds as well. I
Catching.
think Oliver Founds might not have pitted as well, though, so it's kind of awkward. And Phil Lanky and Zen are just trading lap times. Nothing can separate those guys, as they both come into the pits at the same time, so you really can't separate them strategy-wise either. Which is kind of surprising. You'd think one would do another one. Ooh, they're wiggling about all over the place.
Who's going to come
Then
in front?
inside, I thought Jaden was going to turn in on him then. Oh my god, he keeps his nose quite clean. So Iggy, not one to be deterred, is now kicking on with his race after the suspension damage that he sustained. So nice straight wheel now. And trying to see if he can recover any points in this race. But he's 45 seconds off the back of Chester Chompers, the next car ahead.
Chester Chomper has a bit of an off there, almost
No, that's Jaden Evolution, actually. Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry, Jaden Evolution.
Yeah, having a nice little adventure and getting a bit awkward through there as well. Jaden, come on, mate. Let's reel it in. Let's reel it in a bit, buddy. Come on. Don't make me crack a cold one. Swear to God.
It's, I mean, it would be alright. Jaden Evolution, I mean, if he does capitalise on the demise of some of the drivers, as we have already seen, Team Van Nuys with Danny Hernandez, for example, and Nicholas Shepard, he can get back into the points. But for the time being, I think we should focus on some of the closer battles here. Ollie Fowler's only 1.1 off of Phil Lanky, and
I'm surprised though, because well, actually no, they're only close because Oliver Founds have just been informed hasn't pit, and neither is Ismail. So they both owe a pit stop, but the big ones to look at's probably going to be Chris O'Connor and James Turner there. I believe they were previously no, they weren't previously teammates. My bad. But they've swapped seats, is what they've done. They've swapped seats, is what they've done. So. It seems Turner might be missing that Red Bull, as the Red Bull's gotten a bit far in front, and Chris O'Connor might be liking this. Well, actually, he's got a Red Bull in front of him. Oh, a Ferrari in front of him that he's still yet to pit, so he'll be relieved of that and be gifted a podium position as long as he can fight off that second Ferrari of James Turner, as Iggy gets a drive-through for corner cutting. So that's going to hurt him, as he's 35 seconds back as well, so that's going to hurt him big time.
Which should give Jaden Evolution the last points.
Back into the points. Your
dream is still alive.
Come on, points at home. Points at home. I only want to interview Jaden after this. Everyone else can just
go side by side.
These two, inseparable really, as they you're overtaking in unconventional spaces as well through turn 3 and 4. It's a bit awkward through there. You don't normally see anything unless it's lap 1 or a safety car restart. So the fact that Chester's gotten through there is quite amazing, but Kenjo Singh is now hold on to the back of him as he's going to have the slipstream all the way down this snaking river of corners alongside the lake, beautiful lake with the palm trees and everything. But he hasn't really closed in on him much there, as he only gets down to 6/10, as that is a Red Bull Chris O'Connor. He must have had an accident. Does he have no suspension damage, but does he have wing damage? We'll see how he goes through the next couple of corners. Yeah, he seems to have carried a fair bit of speed.
What is going on?
These two are inseparable, as you can't really separate the Mercedes and the Haas, as they go on tit for tat here. But here comes the Red Bull of Chris O'Connor, who was on for a podium, and that's absolute tears for him. So the man with a broken toe, provided his teammate pits, he's going to be on for a podium here. But Ismail as well, who also needs to owe a pit stop. So Chester Chompers possibly. This is a really kind of... Oh, there's the Red Bull goes wide again. Oh, what are you doing, Chris, mate? Pull your head in. Come on, mate. Settle down. Get into the rhythm. Come on, Chris.
Oh, as
he locks up. Oh, God. Come on, mate.
He may be even pressured.
Pull your head in, son.
Of a lapped pass of Jaden Evolution here, John. He can overtake Chris here. Well, technically overtake him. On the track, just maybe unlap himself. But anyway, not to throw shade Jaden's way. He's a very good driver. Just got a bit unlucky.
I'm kind of questioning when Ismail and Oliver Founds are going to pit, because they're coming up to when you'd want to pit for mediums. I guess in maybe 1 lap or maybe 3 at most. But unless I want to go to the softs, but that might be a bit of a mistake, as Ismail he's found a rhythm and consistency now. So he is pulling in, I think, on James Turner, who's in turn pulling in on Oliver Founds. but obviously Ismail and Oliver Founds both owe a pit stop at the moment.
Yeah.
But at the top, Zen seems to have, as they've gone to the hard tyres, Zen seems to have found a bit more pace than his compatriot and competition Phil Lanky. As again, Phil Lanky finds himself in second place, which might hurt him a bit. At least it's not an Alpine this time, so there's a caveat for him.
There's and just the jump is still getting racy with him. They're still within a second.
So still holding on. Could be the DRS that's giving him that advantage, but they were going tit for tat before their pit stops, and then after pit stop rounds, then Chester's kind of come back at him and gotten in front, but can't shake him out of DRS as he runs a little bit wide through that corner, but seems to be all well and good. 7/10 back, so probably going to need a bit of a miracle run through here. As are they coming up to a lap car in front?
They may be. I'm not entirely sure, but Jane Evolution is certainly far back enough to be that. That may be Jane Evolution. Let's have a look.
Yeah, surely. Maybe you get out of the way for his teammate, or is it Ismail?
That's Ismail.
What's Ismail? Oh, they've caught Ismail. So Ismail's tyres must be falling off now. No, because he's been on these tyres since the start of the race, so his tyres are falling off. He's got to come into the pits, and he doesn't. He stays out. Look how much time he's bucketed. He was in the distance, we could barely see him, and now look, he's right there as Chester Chompers gets on the back of him. He still has a pit stop, but Chester doesn't, and Chester's going to try, and as they go 3 wide quite briefly there, that's really awkward. And Chester Chompers around the outside, beautiful switchback from him as he gets through. Mercedes going to try and capitalise on that opportunity as he goes to the outside. As I said, there's not a lot of grip around out here as he goes around the outside, and he does lose the rear end, as I said, no grip out there, in the way of the McLaren! No, that's both McLarens that he's collected there. And, oh god, that's awful. But as I said, there's no grip around there. And these guys continue not to listen to me, the resident Australian. And, as I said, no grip, looped it into the way of both McLarens, which are ironically leading and coming last of the running cars, which is a bit awkward. I don't think he got in Zen's way too much, as he's only lost about a second to Phil Lanky, so... Zen getting quite lucky with that. It was his teammate that kind of barged out the spinning... Oh no, the spinning Mercedes, sorry.
As Ismail, his tyres going off, bleeding a little bit of time to Chester Chomp here. But John, most importantly for you, Jane Evolution...
He's in the points again.
Seconds in front of Iggy Radbury.
I don't believe it.
Points.
Has Iggy served his... As Ismail struggles to pull it into the pit. Oh no.
That is a shame.
He really struggled to pull it into the pits there, but I think he should have come in a lap earlier. I think that's kind of on him. He should have pitted a lap earlier. You could just tell from bucketing time out the window really as he comes in and will change his tyres. Looking for points. I think he should score points, but what could have been for him starting from P3 and now down to P8 or P9. Actually, Dudunazu's pit as well. Yeah. He's on the mediums now, so can he chase down Dudunazu's teammate, Valley Vigiani? He's had a bit of a ding-dong with a few other drivers.
In 9 laps, it's not entirely out of the question, but it is certainly... He'll have to start really picking up the pace compared to what he was setting on those old hards. Now, battles up and down the field, we're not really that close, to be honest.
Well, Oliver Founds owes a pit stop, and he's really the only one that's too close to Chester Chompers. I think Chester is going to try and reel in James Turner. Both are going to the end of the race. Chris O'Connor as well. He's going to have tyres that are going to be struggling towards the end of this race. But on for P5 at the moment with a 9-second gap behind him. Going to Ali Bigiani. Well, no, he's still got a pit. I believe he's still got a pit. So the fact that he's still going, he might be going to the softs, as I said, was a pretty bad strategy call. So if he's going to do this is... I think this is just such a big mistake on strategy call. The tyres are clearly had their best, and I think it's time to jump onto the mediums. Ismail was a lap too late, and I think Oliver Founds is now bucketing time to those ahead. I'm pretty sure he was towards the back of his teammate, and he's now falling back from Chester Chompers. And as Chris O'Connor's now gaining at him, at a
He
rapid
might be
rate.
able to go with the softs here, possibly. Maybe that's what he's holding out.
But I don't think that the benefit's going to be that high, because to do 8 laps on the softs, like, ooh,
Doesn't look great.
like unless we see a level of Spain in real life F1 where the softs are 3 seconds a lap quicker than the next tyre, I'm not seeing too much of a benefit here. I'm seeing a benefit though with those track limits that he's taken, as Zen goes fastest, absolutely dominating here, taking pole. I believe he's led every lap. No, actually, Nicholas Shepherd got him. So he's not going to get a Grand Slam, which maybe after the fact he might kind of kick himself about. But Nicholas Shepherd didn't have the soft tyres, so had the more grip. So maybe Zen can take some consolidation in that, as Phil Lanke cannot seem to keep up with him, just slowly dropping back ever so slightly. But those two, to be fair to him, I am backing him out a bit here, but to be fair to him, they have checked out from the rest of the field, absolutely. But big impression for me is going to be James Turner, who's done an absolutely brilliant job to put it into P3. Only 15 seconds off of Phil Lanke, but considering Phil Lanke was vice-champion, that's a pretty good effort from James Turner, considering where he was last season. So he seems to have put some work in, and he's come out flying.
Yeah, he's certainly picked up the pace here this season. As we are shown tonight, lovely camera angle of the wall there. I feel like he can't really close the gap. Seems to just be floundering around 6 seconds behind Zen at the moment. Not much action going out on track, but very importantly for you, Joe, I know I keep on coming back to him, but Jaden Evolution, 20 seconds on Iggy Radbury. So you could say
yes. Has he? I believe he has served his drive through, would have, or else he'd be disqualified.
Disqualified?
Well, if you don't serve your drive through in 3 laps, you would be disqualified. I said if he hadn't have served it. So.
Oh, yeah. I believe you.
Yeah, a bit of a spread out now between all the drivers, so a bit awkward.
Not much for us to...
But yeah, Oliver Found still hasn't pit. I don't believe this.
He is... maybe still feels like the hard tyres are good. I'm not entirely
Yeah, maybe
sure.
he was kind to him. Kind of strange. I'll look at his live timing here.
No, he's done 22 laps on that set of hards. But remember, we did see him spin off there, so he may have actually pitted on the first lap here. Not entirely sure. I don't think he has, or... Well, yeah, because it would have come up as a pit stop, but he's still doing 125, so to do 125s versus the guys in front of him that are doing 124s, unless you're in the front guys, they're doing 123 deads, which is quite insane from those guys, as Zen pulls out another 3 seconds all of a sudden on Phil Lanke. So Phil Lanke must be throwing the kitchen sink at it and just is making a few mistakes, unfortunately, but, you know, he's got the gap to push. But then again, Charles Leclerc, I guess, had a gap to push in Imola, and you all know what happened there. So it could go very south for him. 5 laps from the end, it's probably time to, kind of accept where you are and kind of bring in the points for the championship. Which 18 points, that's going to be a good performance from him. But Zen with the fastest lap, pole position, and the win, possibly, I don't want to jinx it, I'll probably just have, would be taking home, if it would have finished the way it is, would bring home 26 points maximum that we offer here. Fairly big in this championship. We've only 10 races, mind you, so every race win is more. Not much going out on track at the moment. Chris O'Connor is catching Found. The man who still hasn't pitted. And if he did pit now, he'd come out in about Joe Singer's territory, wouldn't he? Or something.
Oliver Founds, Joe Singer's, he possibly on top of Ismail, or maybe just right in between there, directly between them, just to make sure we don't get any bit of action. But he's leaving it awfully late, unless he's trying to do an Alex Albon. I think someone needs to tell him, get on the blower and say, hey mate, you haven't come in yet. What are you doing, fella? But Chris O'Connor doesn't seem like he's still doing competitive lap times, whereas Ismail seemed to have struggled really heavily on lap 21, so he's kind of proven me wrong. and kind of making Ismail look like a bit of an abuser on his tyres, because he's still doing quite standard laps. He is losing time a little bit to Chris O'Connor, but compared to where he qualified, still relatively competitive considering those tyres have gone the full race distance.
And as you can see, Ollie Fowles is just bleeding time to Chris O'Connor. Now Chris gained, what, 8/10 in the past half a lap, 3/4 of a lap. So I really thought it will only be an out of time before either Fowles pits or Chris pits.
Well, I don't think he's intending to pit. I think he's trying to do the whole race. I believe we have a mandatory stop in this series, so he's going to have to... He might get a 30-second penalty here or disqualification. Because he might be trying to do an Alex Albon here. Maybe he's waiting for a safety car and he's going to just do it on the last lap, but I really don't see the point of not jumping on the softs or the medium tyres here, because it's, well, what, lap 26 now for the leaders, so just 4 laps to go. Not a lot you can wreak out of those. Oh, and we'll talk about that. The tyres have gone, and he's gone off into the gravel, and that is tears for him. And he's surely going to have to come into the pits now. Surely that's going to learn him a lesson. But yeah, it was apparently Bigiani. Well, he owes a pit stop now. He's going to come out behind Joe Singers if he doesn't kick on with it and get into the pits and sort his tyres out. He's going to get a disqualification on top of that spin, which is just going to make it all for note.
That looks like a hard car to drive now. You can really see the understeer creep in.
Oh, it was understeer and oversteer, and yeah, he has to have 2 stabs at it to get it to turn in. And he's not going to pit! He's not going to get the damage fixed or the new... I don't believe this.
This is going to be...
It's just Ferrari, isn't it? It's just Ferrari, isn't it? I don't think he knows. I think someone needs to tell him that he needs to get in the pits, because
he is not.
I don't believe this. I think the race director has gone on and he's gone and told the Ferrari pit crew to get out, and I think he's going to get on the blower to him and tell him, mate, get in the pits and put on some softs, because you need to pit, mate. Oh my god, he's trying to do an Alex Albon though, I guess, is he's going to leave it until what? When he gets to the line, there's only going to be 3 laps left.
Look at the better grip Ismail has right now. He has just closed up that gap from 1.5 down to 2/10.
Around the outside, and he's going to clear him. I think if he doesn't fight it too hard, the Ferrari does give him a bit of a squeeze, but not much competition for him, as he's actually going to come back at him, and he won't send it down the inside, thank God. Thinks a little bit better of it at the last second.
That is a bit of an interesting line, but if he doesn't pit this lap, surely someone's got to explain to the Ferrari pit crew that this is not good strategy. This is just leaving the driver out to dry and to be swallowed up by, well, people just on better tyres. Is he going to pit? No, he doesn't.
Even if he... there might be a glitch in the timing. Even if he had pit, though, I think it's stupid that he hasn't pit again for soft tyres, because, well, A, he spun, you know, so it's quite a bad strategy call there from the Ferrari man. But classic Ferrari... Well, his teammate, though, is on for a podium, so that's something to celebrate. But being led by Zen and Phil Lanke, again, have just checked out from the whole field, and I think Phil Lanke has settled in as he's now matching James Turner's pace, whereas Zen's continuing on with his wrath of just consistent lap times.
As we cut back to Iggy Bradbury and Jaden Evolution flying over last points place.
Come on, Jaden. Oh, come on. There's only 2 laps in it. Come on, Jaden. You've got to fight. Get the elbows out. Come on, mate. Oh, he's right under his rear wing as he comes over to the back straightaway.
Just wanna, you know,
oh, boy. Oh, he goes down the inside. It's going to switch to the outside. I don't think he's going to have the run. Yes, he is. He's going to get there with a wheel, though, but he's on the outside, so it's Jaden's corner. But this is going to get very awkward, and they're going to balk each other through here. Jaden's got an awful run as he goes wide. No! Remember, though, Iggy doesn't have many track cuts left, so come on, Iggy, chuck it down the inside and get a bit of a track cut for me, please. Come on, mate. As we go and look at a wall there. Thanks, camera. That's brilliant. Jaden just doesn't seem to have the pace to fight him there, as there's a bit of a lock-up, we can say, for him. Jaden Evolution losing out on points with just 2 laps to go. As I think we should probably go on board with Zen, as he hasn't had any time except for the time that he was avoiding.
He's been dominant really this race. That's the only way I can describe it.
Leader on the final lap. Leader on the final lap.
Final lap.
It's quite odd though. You sponsor a race team, right, to win. That way your sponsor gets pushed forward. Yeah. But if I was Zen's sponsor, I'd be pissed. Because he hasn't been shown the whole race. He's been too quick. He needs to back off a little bit, wind it in, get shown on camera a little bit, and then check out. I mean, he's just gone.
Create some drama. Just spin out a lap. No, don't. No, we don't encourage that kind of thing. But yeah, if I wasn't advertising on the side of Zen's car, I would be a little bit annoyed because no TV time, apart from the last lap, because he's just had.
Well, this is the most important lap, to be fair.
This is.
So, trying to give him his limelight, his 15 minutes of fame.
He technically hasn't won the race yet. He still has about 5 corners to go, but it is looking fairly comfortable. I'm pretty sure he could stop and do a cheeky donut or two, and still in the race. He's got a 17-second gap to Phil Lanky here.
Chris is in a fight with Ali Bigiani, actually, as they're going to fight for P5. They still got a whole lap to go because Zen's got so far. I thought they were towards the end of the lap. But the Mercedes is going to have an absolute banger of a run, I think, with all the slipstream, as there's only really here in the fast chicane where they got a braking zone. So, look how close he gets to him there through the fast right-hander. I think he got a bit balked though, but he's only 4 tenths behind, gaining now. Can he get the slipstream and can he get the DRS open? If he can get a good run through the fast left-right chicane, he might be able to steal that P5 off Mr. Chris O'Connor. As he comes through now, he looks very smooth. Looks like he's got a slightly better run. Opens the DRS now. Gaining. Chris goes a little bit defensive. He goes very defensive. Can he get a switchback on him? No, but he's left a lot of space to the inside. I think he's broken too late and he's gone wide, and I don't think he's going to be able to get there. Unless he can throw it down the inside here, but that'll be an almighty move. I think he has accepted where he's going to finish. As long as Chris can keep his cool through here, he's going to be P5, I believe. Yes, he is. As he weaves heavily down the main straight. And he gets his P5, and I'm sure Ali Bigiani is going to be...
only finishing 2 tenths behind, but Ismail dropped behind Oliver Fowles. Or they had a small battle, I'm not sure what happened to Ismail there, but one of them definitely switched places. But congratulations to Zen Metanich for winning the first race of F1 Season 7 as we see a...
Jaden, don't take a drive through. You won't get a disqualified. Just finish the race.
Yeah, but it's been quite a race, I'd say.
Yeah, wow.
Certainly.
Well, it was exciting at the start, and then it kind of teetered off and got a bit bland towards the end, unfortunately. But this is the way it is sometimes with we went motor racing.
Jarvis, thank you for racing. If you wish to take a post-race interview, go into the interview rating channel on the Discord.
See if we can get any guys that are willing to take an interview here. See what they want to do. Oh my god, please no, James, stop. James, stop. Let's breathe. James, let's breathe. James, let's breathe. Alright, okay, we'll talk to you. Alright, you just answer our questions, alright, mate?
Okay.
Now, you didn't have a good race. Nah, mate, you got a fucking podium, mate. How are you?
Right, the race itself wasn't great because I was really struggling with the car and my toe. Funnily enough, it was really hurting under under acceleration. But it's fine. We're fine. Shut up. Right, we're fine. It was kind of hurting. I was shaking that much being in P3 again because I was having flashbacks to season 2. Like I was shaking that much. It was hard to downshift. So I'd been missing my apexes. I think genuinely from me being excited, I lost 2 3/10 a lap. The leaders obviously just buggered off without us, but I feel like for me in this car, I felt like we would barely even score points. I hate this car with all my heart. I hate it so much I can't even express it. But to get P3 in a car that I despise and cannot drive to the full of my ability, I am happy. I can't even get anything near to the most out of this car with my own ability. But and the same with Founds. same with Fowles. The fact that he got from P12 to what was it, P7 at the
And
flag.
it wasn't even P12. It was last. It was literally bang last.
Bang last to P7 is absolutely fantastic. I reckon. Good points for the boys. Good points for the boys.
Ollie Fowles, what was that with your strategy towards the end? We saw that you hadn't pitted. You just stayed on.
Yeah, you
what's,
I
stayed out on.
had pitted. I pitted on literally lap 1 when before the safety car. I got
You
punted.
could have pitted
Um,
for softs though, and you wouldn't have spun out through the fast left-right chicane, mate.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought, I can get out and see what happens. And
Still good
just
points, still
Ferrari
good points.
strategy, mate. Is that what it is?
yeah,
Mate, my
basically
tyre
what it
management
was,
was mint.
28 laps on those bloody hards. Literally coming out the first corner, I couldn't. The amount of times I had to save that car, and round some of the corners, the car was sliding, twitching out of when you're under acceleration.
I
Jesus.
do think you've done pretty well though to get it to the end, especially going the whole race. We just couldn't believe you kept going and going again. And then you spun, and then you didn't come in and hit. We were still like, "What's he doing?"
Fowles was letting me know the gaps. So at the end. So basically, I just needed to not push the entire race because I knew I was in a good position. Chester wouldn't have caught me anyway. Chris bottled it. Fucking bozo. Sorry about that. Bozo, absolute bozo. I'm kidding, Chris. I love you, really. I knew I didn't have to push. I probably could have put another second in if I pushed. And I was in like the 23s, 22s. So I think.
Very good finish from both of you. That was a very good time management.
Fowles was
slightly unorthodox, the strategy. But,
Checo Perez, Alex Albon even. Alexander Albon.
Yeah, but you did a reverse Alex Albon with medium.
He could have started on the softs and got loads of positions. Still would have held it. Would have done
Yeah,
it.
Nicholas Shepard did. They were starting the softs and it didn't go particularly well for him after safety car.
Yeah, I saw him spin off into a wall. I kind of looked at him and went,
Certainly interesting.
ratio, man. Get ratio by curb. Anyway, lads, I'll let the others in. Yeah, thank you all. Good way to start off the season, P3 in the championship. Let's go.
Nice.
Cheers, lads.
Well done, boys.
Yep, thanks, lads.
Well, that Ferrari driver was quite excited
We
as
now
we get
have
Zen
two
in,
McLaren
the race
drivers.
winner.
The race winner.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Zen, mate, I'd ask you how you race. Did you have to make a cup of coffee to stay awake? You kind of just checked out.
Yeah, I just walked downstairs and then just grabbed some food and then I got back.
Autopilot, yeah.
He sounds tired now. Listen to him. He wants to go to bed.
Oh no, it was totally the other way around. I was pushing like hell. Oh, I'm sweating here.
Yeah, doing the lap times that you and Phil Lanky did to do, I think 123 deads, at least when I looked, to just do that hit for tip for tat was absolutely insane from you boys. Check out the way you did. But your teammate kind of helped you out when a Mercedes spun. Iggy, you kind of went and ploughed into the Mercedes as he was sitting on the racing simulator, but luckily you got him out of the way for your teammate as he came through.
Yeah, I couldn't avoid him. He just spun in front of me. I tried to go left, but
rather unfortunate. But...
yeah. And also, I made one mistake. I got drive-through for cuts, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's
not an ideal race for you this time around, was it?
Still pick up points. You finished P10, I believe. So.
Yeah, that's the most important. Yeah, that's the most important. We finished up. Zen also had a great performance. Congratulations to him also. And I think good. I think only 2 teams in the top 10 McLarens. I didn't see anyone else. Maybe 2 Ferraris. I don't know.
Ferraris and I believe both Mercedes as well.
Oh, okay, great.
Well, top 10,
but good race for the beginning.
That was dominant from you, Zen, and unfortunate for you, Iggy, but hopefully many good races to come.
Yeah, season
was a great race.
More. Yeah, great race. We will prepare better for next one. This was the first one, so yeah, it will be better and better. So see you on the track next Sunday. Oh, so not next Sunday.
Sunday next. Yeah, with the
yeah. That's a great format. I must say that's a great format because we can relax. We can charge up.
Faster lap times, more entertaining racing, hopefully. Well, you two both scored well for the team today. Congratulations to both of you, and we'll hopefully see you next time.
Thank you. See you next time.
Yeah, congratulations again, Zach.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Bye. It was a good race. Thank you.
Bye.
Good race, boys.
So, Chester. That looked like
a bit of an up and down race
for you, but you seemed like you were you and Joe Singers were having quite an interesting time there. Maybe we should get Joe Singers in as well. Actually, that would be probably quite nice because the two people who were battling quite a bit on the track. What did you two think of that?
Can I cut out there?
No, go for it. Go. What did you two think of that? Think of your big battle on the track? You seemed almost glued together at some point.
It was fine. I thought it was clean most of the time. Ismail was in there around the end.
Yeah, we saw that.
And for the opposing view from Mr. Joe Singers, Dudunazu,
Hello, guys.
what did you think about Manchester?
Yeah, it was a good battle, and until I spun.
Yeah, we saw that. That was very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Also, at a certain point during, because we had like 2 battles, I don't even remember exactly, but yeah, I didn't manage my battery very well, so I ran out of battery at a certain point.
Oh no, yeah, that's.
And I couldn't keep up.
Yeah, with how flat out this track is, it's extremely difficult to try and regain that battery. But
I'm going from second to last to fourth. It's a good race for me.
yeah, it was a very
Good recovery drive, I think. From
Fucking payback for Canada.
Going out to see the the Houston River there when we went to Canada.
yeah, kind of doing a interesting thing.
That was an interesting view.
But yeah, a solid performance from both of you guys. You guys both scored good points, and hopefully more are to come. I don't think we have anyone after this, so yeah. Thank you guys for the interview. I think we'll probably go ahead and stop the stream in a little bit.
Thanks to you guys.
Good luck in the next 2 weeks, and hopefully we'll see you then.
Thanks.
Bye. See you, boys. Where do we go to our next round, Mr. Ali G?
I will now check.
Or is that a voted round? Bahrain. That's always a good race, at least in real life. So it should be an interesting bit of racing with just some long straightaways it gets. So maybe similar to this, but not as street tracky. So a bit more room for runoff and whatnot, as Australia really has none, except for down in that heavy braking zone. It's really the only place where you can kind of spear off.
Track limit's certainly interesting around Bahrain, as we found out from the server, and exploited to quite a large degree. But we will see you next week for
Super Formula.
Super Formula,
and then the week
Bahrain.
after for F1. So we're seeing you 2 weeks for F1.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Super
for F1
Formula though,
and,
week before.
All right. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you. Bye bye.